Welcome to Not Starving Artist, the podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Benson, money coach and equity actor. I am your financial cheerleader, here to help you build your financial confidence and have power over your money. The best part, no budgeting or bi-weekly paychecks required. I went from being a broke BFA grad having weekly panic attacks about money to a financially confident, wealth-building actor and business owner. Money gets to feel fun, simple, and sexy, and I am going to show you how. Hey everyone, welcome to my brand new podcast series, Inside One-on-One Coaching, where I'm giving you an inside look on what a private money coaching call is actually like, and to show you how much can shift for you from just one single coaching session. These episodes are real one-on-one coaching calls. Some are with current and past clients, and some are people I've never coached before, and everyone has given permission for these calls to be shared with you here. A full one-on-one coaching package is 3 months long with weekly coaching sessions, unlimited text and voice messaging support with me, and access to the full video curriculum from my signature group coaching program, Cashed Up Creatives. One-on-one coaching is for creatives, business owners, and those of you whose brains just have a hard time following traditional money advice. You'll get personalized strategy and support to help you understand your numbers without a spreadsheet, fully fund your savings, invest your first $1,000, spend money guilt-free, and finally build a relationship with money that feels easy and supportive. The investment for this package is $4,000 or 3 monthly payments of $1,400. You can book a sales call with me to learn more about one-on-one coaching and what that would look like for you, and the link is in the show notes. Let's get to it. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm doing fabulous. Thank you.
I'm so glad to
for
hear that.
asking.
I love your lip color, by the way.
Thanks. It's flat out fabulous by
Yeah,
Mac. By Mac. And I
that's
think it would
amazing.
look good on you. It will look
Oh,
good on you.
you know
This
I'm a pink
pink.
girl.
Yeah, I was about to say the pink, it'll look good on you. How are you
Yeah,
this morning?
I'm doing so good. Let's dive right in. Let's start some coaching. So
Okay.
I read your form and I saw we've got some thoughts about savings, debt, making money in business, how to hit these goals with the money you're making in your business. So talk to me out of those, which feels like the most pressing thing you want to talk about today.
Oh boy. All of them actually.
All right, well, tell me the main
Okay.
thought then. Yeah, go ahead.
All of them. All of them are like one big mesh that I feel like is kind of like intertwined together that causes like internal financial thoughts, feelings. I don't really get a whole lot of anxiety about it, but just, okay, how do I fix this? I'm really a motivated person. So even if there's like something going on, I'm like, okay, this is fixable. How do I fix it? What do I need to do to start turning this into the right direction of seeing the results that I want?
For sure. So to sum up kind of like that big meta problem, right, is business income is not allowing you at this moment to hit savings goals like saving money, paying off debt, or money goals like saving money and paying off debt.
And this is the thing, Brooke, it's not even that the business isn't bringing in that money because even when I'm having higher income months, I still feel the same way. So I'm
Yep.
like, it's not the money.
Oh, so it's a
It's,
systems issue. Let's talk
it's
about it.
not the money because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much money I bring in. I mean, it can be one of my lowest months or it can be one of my highest 5-figure months. And it's like I still feel the same way. I still feel like, okay, this is not enough money. I'm not able to catch up.
For sure.
I am
So
lost for words how that happens. Like,
yeah. So talk to me about your current money strategy or system, even if you don't think you have one. Everyone has a system, even if it's going on subconsciously. So how does your money management look when you have a high income month, low income month? How is it coming in? Where do you put it? What does that look like?
I usually it goes into the business account. And
Hmm.
then from there, I divert like, okay, this is what we need for the month. So me and my husband, we do it together. We do have, my brain doesn't work off of like Google Sheets and things of that nature. So I do put it down on a Google Doc, but so then I take the lump sum of money that we need for the month and then I put it into our account, like our personal account. And then anything that's coming out of the business, because there are set business fees that are going to come out every month. I keep that in the business account. And then that's kind of like, I guess, the basics of it.
Yeah. So then let's say you have a higher income month where
Yeah.
you put the money into your personal account. Then does the leftover, the surplus that's in your business checking account, does it stay in the business checking account, or where does that surplus go?
I'll put it towards taxes. I'll put it towards saving. I usually put it towards either taxes or savings. If there's like something coming up big, I also think that that's what I need to start doing is planning out those events too. But I usually just put everything in savings or I'll put away some for taxes.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So when I'm hearing you move money from your business account to pay yourself, are you paying yourself the same amount every single month, or does it fluctuate just depending on what the credit card bill is?
Yeah, it just depends. It
Cool.
depends on what bills are needing to be paid. If there's a vacation coming up, if there's, some unexpected expense that needs to be paid.
Yeah.
Um, at first, I was like setting aside a specific amount for myself, but then I think it just kind of fell off a little bit. And so then it's just like, okay, it's not really there, or I'll put it towards maybe something else that is more of a priority.
Mm. Setting aside a specific amount for yourself, what does that mean? And then when it fell off, tell me more about that.
Because we've been through some of the same programs and things like that, so I've learned to set aside an amount for myself. However, if, like I said, there's a trip coming up or if there's something more pressing, that just means that I just put it towards
Sure.
this other thing that is the priority. And when I say it fell off, that means that I forget to do it.
There it is.
Because the way my brain works the same way, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll forget things. I'm easily forgetful. If there's systems and processes, like that's just not how my brain functions. I get what I need to get done, but like a system, a process, I'll go hard at first and then yeah, I'll just forget it or I'll fall off or I won't even do it. And that's the
Sure.
other thing too. Sometimes I don't go back in the back end and look. I'll just like, okay, put this is what we need for the month for our expenses, and this is what I need for the month for the business, and then just kind of spend the rest of it however.
For sure. Also, just letting you know, I lost your video.
Oh, sorry, I think I
No, you're good.
accidentally hit the
There you go. Got so passionate.
I
Hit
know.
the video off. So what's happening here is there just aren't proactive decisions being made about your money, which means it just is kind of disappearing into the abyss of your accounts, right? That's all that's happening here. So when it comes to creating a system for yourself, there's two things. We want to make sure your system is simple enough that it doesn't require a Google sheet, right? That it doesn't require a lot of tracking, because then it's inevitable that you'll fall off, right? And not want to do it. But
That
then
sounds good to me.
good. So then number two as well is making the reasoning for wanting to have a money system really strong, like in your body, not just I should pay off debt, I should have savings. It's the responsible thing, but it's like, I'm so excited because of X, Y, and Z reasons, and I get giddy in my body when I feel it, because that's what's going to have you sitting down once a month to look at the back end numbers. Does that resonate?
It does. It resonates really deeply with me because for
What's coming
one,
up?
I've always felt like money goes through my hands, like saying, I can make money. I can make a lot of
You don't have
money.
any problem with that.
I don't have any problem with that. But I've always felt, even as a teenager, like, dang, money just, I mean, it just kind of goes through my head like sand. Like, what is happening? And that's why I say it doesn't matter if I have low income or high income. Like, it doesn't matter how much money I'm making. It's kind of like the same issue. And I imagine that it's because it's me, right? I am the problem and need to figure this out. But the part that resonates with what you said is really, it's not, I guess that it's not that important to me. Like, I like having money. I feel like for me, the energy and the excitement comes from making the money. And once I've made the money, I mean, as long as we have enough to live, as long as we have enough to do what we want to do, you know what I mean? And it's just, I guess, money hasn't ever really been that important. Money for me has always been easier to make. I mean, of course, there are times when I don't make money, but just pattern of life, money has come across pretty easy to make, even since I was 12 years old. So I haven't had a problem really making money. So it's never really been important. I don't know, to keep the money. I don't know. I don't know. What are you getting from that? But that part really does resonate, just figuring out why it needs to be important. I'm like, money comes, money goes. That's kind of like my motto when it comes to money.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that's truly how you feel, right? And that has been how you felt. But there comes a time where all of a sudden the scales start to tip of which kind of ease you desire in your life. So before now, the ease of not ever having to really look at your numbers, navigate, having a system, you can make money and then you spend it and it's fine and like everything's good. The ease of that has outweighed the ease of having savings and investments and no debt, the ease of financial freedom, truly, right? Nothing wrong with that. But then there does come a point, right? Where the scales start to tip where you're like, ooh, this ease is looking real enticing over here of like having so much money in the bank, which is what you're feeling. So nothing's gone wrong. It wasn't bad. Your scales are just tipping.
I'm changing.
You're changing. Yeah. Because you're like, okay, I've got that part covered. I know how to spend and enjoy spending. I know how to make money and feel good making money. And now you're going to add that other money skill in of, I want to feel really good and excited, keeping money in the bank, paying off debt and building wealth. So the important part is making sure those desires are not coming from shoulds because we're getting older. It's the responsible thing. I see other people doing it. It's about actually making those things feel like something in your body. Do they feel like things in your body yet? What's coming up for you there?
It kind of still feels a little bit like I should. And it's important. I understand that it's important, right? But the importance still comes under the should. And there are things that I want to be able to do, for even like I'm talking about like big ticket items of things that I want to do to help friends and help family. So I'm like, okay, I need to start focusing on this a little bit more. And also I think it's important. It is good to make money, but then, financial education is so important too. And just, okay, well, the strength comes in being able to keep it and to hold space for it and to allow it to accumulate. And like you said, to create just like that financial freedom, that financial wealth in my life. And I am at a point and a place and an age where I'm like, okay, yeah, that needs to kind of shift now.
Yeah. So I'm going to give
you being more serious about it.
Yes. So here's your homework is to start making those desires for money in the bank, staying in the bank, much more visceral. So are you a journaler or are you a visualizer? Like what's your like manifestation technique or like goal technique, self-coaching technique? What's the one that resonates with you most?
I do both. I create vision boards and I do like to journal too, but I think probably more visual is me, but I do like both.
Amazing. So on your next vision board, you're gonna like take a screenshot of your bank account and then edit in the number you want to see in the savings account, not the checking account, the savings account, the different buckets, right? Which vacation you're saving for. And then I also want you can do this in a journal or do something on your vision board that makes you feel this. But when you think about being able to hit send money to whoever needs that money or pay for the thing for the person in your life and think about that feeling or that phone call you're going to be able to give that person to say, hey, I'm sending this over. Like that stuff that makes you
Yes.
feel something is like,
Oh
okay,
yeah, it's got tears coming to my eyes. I'm
yeah, what's
excited
coming
to be able
up?
to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I want. I want to do. I mean, I've been able to do it kind of on a smaller scale with the business, but I really want the business to grow up, to grow out, and to be able to save those amounts of money to help, friends and family in a big way. And I have in the corner of my room, there's an office and I have it on a piece of paper, like, okay, I need, $60,000 to help this person, $30,000 to help this person, $10,000. I want big numbers. I want to help them in big ways. And so just when you were talking and like bringing that up, it just makes me feel so good inside to be able to imagine that day when I am like, hey, you know, I'm sending this over and this is for you.
Yeah, I love that so much, right? Like, and those are the things that's going to create the motivation, or not even the motivation, but the desire to sit down once a month, move your money, and make financial decisions, right? You don't have to track on a spreadsheet every day, but like having that money date every month, this stuff is what's going to have you sitting down to do that. This is what's going to have it not fall away and just sneakily be like, oh, I don't actually care about it. Because you do care about it, right? Your tears are
Yeah.
telling you that you care about it.
Yeah, I care about them and I want to help.
Yeah, that's so cool. So tactically now, what does that monthly money date look like? So one of the tactical leaks, when you were talking about money going through your hand like sand, right? Like the holes between your fingers, those are the money leaks. So there's nothing wrong with your hand. You just need to close it so the money doesn't run through it. So I'm hearing a couple of leaks. One of them
Mhm.
is that you're paying yourself a different amount every single month based on like cleanup crew. So when I say cleanup crew, that means you've already spent the money for the month. You didn't really make a decision at the beginning of the month of how much you wanted to spend, what the numbers were going to look like. So then you have to play cleanup crew, right? At the end of the month when you don't have a decision ability to make a different decision. So, what you're going to start doing is at the beginning of the month, you're going to make proactive decisions about how much you want to spend throughout the month. Now, I
Okay.
want to clarify two different things. This doesn't mean that unexpected things aren't going to pop up. This doesn't mean that you're not going to have to like pay for the vacation flights or that like someone's got a birthday, right? And like you're going to a birthday dinner or having a party. It doesn't mean that that stuff can't happen, but it's about you deciding at the top of the month, oh, I know my, best friend's birthday is coming up this month and I know they like to go wild. I'm going to put that into my money plan and account for that $500 I'm going to spend that weekend on top of my baseline expenses, my rent, my bills, my groceries, my eating out, etc. So you're going to have like the core amount that you spend month to month to month. Decide on that number, right? What you want to spend. And then you can also be proactively looking ahead what might come up throughout this month, right? So you're going to have a number to make a decision around at the top of the month, meaning you know how much you are going to have to pay yourself every single month, and that number can be consistent. Before I go on, questions, thoughts, feelings on that?
No, that sounds fine. That sounds fine. So is that the same way that I'll like pay down debt and like am I creating a list and then kind of like prioritizing certain things first? So like there's a list of people that I want to help. I want to put, I think I've said to you like 100,000 in savings. I
Yes.
want to pay off debt, so
Yeah.
these different clusters, am I like doing the same, having the same technique with all of these things?
Yes. So to clarify, I want you to make two different lists. Okay. One for business and one for personal, right? So you want all of your goals, right? When we say investments and savings and paying down debt, I want to know, is it personal credit card debt or is it like business investment debt? 100K in savings, how much savings do you want in your business and for what? And how much do you want in personal savings and for what?
Mm,
Specifically with a savings goal, I actually want you to remove 100K out of your brain. And I want you to
okay.
create savings goals for your business and your personal accounts that are actually grounded in something. 100K means nothing, but like an ego-based number of 100K sounds nice. I want to
Yeah.
know what number is 6 months of bills that you want in your emergency fund. I want to know X amount in future business investments you want to make, and also, right, like what 3 months ahead on bills in your business looks like. Get clear on those numbers first.
Mhm.
Secondly, when you're separating your money goals or your business goals and your personal goals, when you pay yourself from your business, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say your baseline amount that you spend every month that you need for like rent, utilities, groceries, eating out, miscellaneous shopping, right? Let's say that's $5,000, okay? Baseline to break even to live, right? But you still want to contribute to your personal savings. You still want to pay off your personal debt. You still have flights that are coming up that you need to pay for your trip to Cabo, right? Those things are on top of that $5,000 you need to live. So you may decide that every month you are going to pay yourself $6,500 so that you have $5,000 to go towards your baseline. And then out of the $1,500 extra, 500 goes to your savings for your emergency fund, and then $1,000 are booking those flights to Cabo because that's happening like next month and we need that money. Next month, your flights are paid, right? So you're going to pay yourself the same 6,500. 5,000 is going towards your baseline. And then you have 1,500 to, let's say you put 1,000 towards that emergency money this month, and then 500 is going towards your credit card debt. So do you see that you can have consistency, but the things that you put it towards may fluctuate a little bit?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
coming up there for you?
Nothing. I like it. I think it's good. It's just I guess the same pattern of behavior, forgetting to do it and not like being gun ho in the beginning of doing this, and it sounds amazing. And then 3 months later, 4 months later, I'm like, oh man, I forgot that this money
Yeah.
was supposed to be, and I've used that money to do this or do that or put it towards this or put it towards that. That's all.
Sure. So let's make your contingency plan. So let's say you start doing this coming month, right? We've got August 1st is tomorrow, right? So
Yeah,
you can have this
tomorrow.
money
Let's
date this
start.
week, okay? So you're gonna have your first one. Let's say you're still riding the momentum. Next month, September 1st, you have your next one. But then October comes around, right? Holidays are coming, you start getting overwhelmed, or like things are just coming up and you're forgetting about it. What do we want your contingency plan to be to keep you showing up for your money month to month? What do you think you need in order for that to keep going?
Oh no, Brooke. I don't know.
What would make you not want to do it? Flash forward to October 1st. You're gonna have the thought, it's October 1st. I should have
Yeah,
my date. So what's gonna keep you from doing it? What's the thought or the thing or the feeling that's gonna keep you from it?
the process of it probably. Just
Mm,
the process of it. Like I said, systems and processes are difficult for me to keep long term. So so
yeah.
it's just the probably the system
Mm,
of it. And just like I said, just the forgetfulness of just literally not even thinking about it, knowing that it's October the 1st and knowing that, oh yeah, I put this money aside for bills, but then not even, just not continuing the process or the system that I set
sure.
up to finish out what you're telling me to do.
Sure. So, first thing, I want you to set a Google Calendar alert on the 29th of every month. Even
Okay.
if you don't have the money date, I want you to see the notification ping every month, money date time. It's going to start training your brain that, like, around the first of the month, we should be doing money stuff, right? And it's going to
Yeah,
start to like train that a little bit. Even if you don't actually end up doing it, we want that to start getting in your brain.
right.
Second thing is what we talked about earlier. It's like having that vision board, maybe even create a separate vision board specifically to motivate you for your money. So, what are your
Okay.
specific goals and visions that require money and wealth built in the bank to achieve? Those are the only things I want on that vision board.
Okay.
And let's create that and spending time, like making this an inevitable thing that you have to think about, right? Putting it up in front of your computer or like putting it next to the mirror in your bathroom, somewhere where you have to see it. And it's going to remind you money, 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 money in the bank, money in the bank. Here's why, here's why, here's why.
Okay.
Right. So you don't have to like drum up that willpower to like do the money date. Also, I'm kind of hearing too, I think your brain thinks that this is going to have to be some big whole thing that's going to take a lot of energy and thought work or like mental energy.
Well, I guess the process and the system of it a little bit. I'll have to think about it, figure it out. I mean, but I need to, right? So I
Yeah.
just have to, I mean, running a business is not easy, but I do it, right?
Yeah.
I do it. And so this is just a segment of the business that I just need to pay more attention to. And I like how you said to put it on the Google alarm,
Yep.
because I put everything in. I have to set an alarm for literally everything, or
Same.
I will literally forget
Yeah.
events and this and that. So I even set an alarm for coming here with you. It was like,
Mm.
log on to Zoom because you're going to be meeting with Brooke. Because as much as I wanted to meet here, I mean, I literally would start doing something else and not even think about logging on to Zoom until it was after. So,
Right.
yeah, so I think that that's a good idea to put on the, put an alarm. What's coming up for me, I guess, a little bit more than, it being difficult or hard, because I can do hard things, I can do difficult things. I think it's just like it not being where I want it to be right now, and where, like, just how did money come through my hands like this, you know? And so maybe it's a little bit of like a shame, excuse me, a little bit of shame, a shame or shame attached to it that kind of makes me maybe a little bit, I stay away from it.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
I don't want to deal with it in a sense. And I make myself, but I think that that also too plays a big part in like, oh, this should not be like this.
Yeah.
You know, I should be doing better. I know better. You know what I mean?
How did money function for you growing up?
Good. Like with my parent, good. My parents, they said I was spoiled. So my parents, they were really good parents, and they my parents are probably they're a little bit more on the thrifty side, of course, than I am. But
Yeah.
growing up, like, we didn't lack anything. Growing up, my dad had a good job. You know, we had decent vehicles that ran, and you know, we were a middle class family. um, and I was able to get pretty much what I wanted and what I needed. I asked for it, and they didn't have a problem buying it from me. I don't remember hearing no a whole lot when it came to getting things. My mom she was always very generous with money. My grandparents too. If I asked them for a couple of thousand, you know, when I was a teenager, oh yeah, I'll give you, no problem. Like, my grandparents have always been there too with
Yeah.
money and giving me money if I need money, or if I need to pay down debt. I'm like, my granny, can I get a couple of thousand? I want to consolidate my bills. Yeah, I'll give you a couple of thousand. Even when it came to buying my car, my grandfather, he co-signed on my car for me. So it wasn't really, finances wasn't a really hard thing until I was probably about 17. But then my dad got hurt on the job, and
Mm.
so that's when the financial situation in my household changed. But we were pretty much adults by then, and we had already learned our patterns of behavior with finance. And plus, I ran businesses on the side ever since I was 12. So I always would make my own money too.
Yeah.
and
So with
had
this,
money.
yeah. So with everything you're telling me, it just sounds like this has been a really amazing way for you to live and function with money up until now when the scales are starting to tip. So it's not like nothing has gone, like nothing has been bad or gone wrong with how you functioned with money. So I even want you to notice how you talk about like money always just slips through my fingers. What if you've just never had to worry about it because all of your needs were met and you didn't have any bigger desires than just make money and spend money and enjoy my life? What if that's all that happened? And now you're like, okay, and now I have different desires.
I love that
Yeah, what's coming up?
because I always thought I was bad with money
Hmm.
because it slipped through my fingers.
Yeah.
But I mean, but now that you say that, like maybe that is just what it was. It's like I didn't really, it wasn't a priority, it wasn't a need. I had all my basics met. And
Right.
so money could just slip through my fingers
Mhm.
without any huge repercussions, for the
What
most
a
part. I
fun
mean,
life you got to live. Money could slip through my fingers without any big repercussions. I'm sorry, that's not a problem. And now you're like, I have so many bigger desires now that I see what's possible. Scales are starting to tip. Thank God I got that season of life where I didn't have to think about it at all. I just made it and spent it. What a fun time. And now I'm into my next financial season.
mm, yeah, I like it.
Good.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, it takes away some of the thought of shame, and at the same time, it's like, okay, Angela, you got to get out of that.
Yeah.
You got to
So,
figure out how to change your mindset and shift your thinking so that this is not how you function for the remainder of your days, like it feels like now, okay, you got to get it together.
yeah. I want to give you one final piece of homework. I
Okay.
want you to journal on why are you deciding to shift into a different kind of money season, relationship with money? Why are you making this decision? And then do you like your reasons, right? So this can be all of those goals and things of like helping other people, the things you want to have in your life, the kind of stuff you want to have built wealth-wise, but then also other reasons that are beside your goals, right? Like internal reasons, confidence reasons, self-worth reasons. Like I want you to get so clear so that when you start to be like, oh, I don't want to have my money date, or like, wow, it was really nice back there when I didn't have to think about it, you literally have all of the reasons why you made this choice.
Yeah,
Okay. So you've got
I
that
like it.
homework, and then find your numbers. Have your husband help you too, right? Like you and your husband do this together when you talk about your money. Have your husband
Yeah,
help you. Be like, we need to figure out what we're spending each month. Here's what I want to do. Here's how much I want to pay. Like have him help you with that tactical system side of it.
yeah, we just did that last week. So we have everything on paper, everything is ready to go for August. So yeah, he's good
Amazing.
at that. He's
Good. I'm
good at
so
that part.
glad. Well, it was so lovely to coach you today, Angela. I'm so glad we got to talk about this.
Thank you, Brooke. I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Come join me on Instagram for more on how to build a simple, sexy relationship with your money. My Instagram handle is @NotStarvingArtists. And if you want to dive deeper with me, head to the show notes to learn more about one-on-one coaching. If you love this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend that you want to get rich with.